Hey, hi, what's up YouTube? Welcome to my channel. I'm Cassie and today we're going to talk lessons I learned in 2022. I think this is the perfect way to start the new year over here on YouTube. Talk about things that we learned and we're taking into 2023 with us. Before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel so you never miss a video. And then we're gonna roll right into it. So I did break it down to like just lifestyle, parenting, and fitness things that I learned throughout this year. And we're gonna start with lifestyle. I think the biggest thing that I learned over 2022 about myself is like you can be depressed or like in a mental funk and not even really realize it at the time until you're completely out of it, and you can look back and be like, I was not myself. I just didn't feel like myself and I was off and I was definitely depressed and I kept feeling like I was coming out of it, and then all of a sudden I would crash right back down. So in December I really did come out of that funk and that depression, and now looking back I'm like, holy crap, like that whole year was so tough on me and I just didn't even realize it in the moment. So I think that I learned that you can be depressed and in a funk and not even realize it until you're through it. And I think that that's really important to just make time for you and your mental health and doing things that make you smile, because you never know how much you really need it. The next thing I learned in 2022 was that screening calls is a freaking superpower, because it's something that I struggle with. I really struggle with not answering my phone when it rings. Like, no matter who it is, I just feel like I need to answer unless I'm like in the middle of doing something that I literally cannot talk. And I learned over the course of last year that like that is not good for me. Being a stay-at-home mom, there's many things that I can do while talking on the phone, but it's not necessarily the best for my mental health to be on the phone all the time and just be talking to people all the time. Over the course of the year, I did decide to start screening calls, not always answering, even if maybe I wasn't super busy. Maybe I'm just laying down. Maybe I'm just hanging out with the kids. Whatever it may be, like I would just not answer. I would just text them, hey, are you okay? Like, and that's something else that I think shows how hard it is for me to screen calls, because I couldn't just let it go and not say anything. I'd always have to be like, hey, are you okay? Like, are you good? Like, you know, just because like I feel like I need to be there for everyone in my life 100%. But how am I supposed to give myself 100% and my family 100% if I'm giving it to everyone else? Like, I think that was a big thing that drained me last year. And I realized that I want to say like towards the end of the year, and now I screen my calls. So I'm sorry if you're watching this and I don't pick up your phone call sometimes. It might just be because I don't have the mental capacity to do so. I think that everyone should learn how to screen their calls if they don't already, and I think it's like extremely important for your mental health. So we are bringing that into 2023. We are screening calls from now on, forever. The next lifestyle thing is that if you're not actively working towards the life that you want, you're never gonna get there. During my depression, I struggled to like make the YouTube videos, make the TikToks, and do the things that I want to do to build my brand and my business, and even making my own website. I was like just effing off at night when the kids went to bed instead of working towards the things that I want to do for myself. And being a stay-at-home mom, it is really hard to find pockets throughout the day to do things, especially if you're like me and you feel like if you're not going to get the whole task done, then there's no point in like doing it. And that's something that I need to work through. And I really want to grow my personal training business. I really want to grow my personal brand, and to do so, I need to work at it. A big lesson for me for 2023 is I'm never going to get there if I don't put the work in. So put the work in. The life you want, you can totally achieve anything you want to do, but you have to put the effort in. Now I'm going to go ahead and move into the things I learned for fitness. I am going to share with you 3 things I learned for each of them. So those were my 3 for lifestyle, and for fitness, I definitely relearned nutrition matters so freaking much. And if you don't think that you're getting where you want to be in the gym, and you're getting your workouts and you're hitting your workouts and you're increasing the strength and you're doing all the things, it's probably your nutrition. Sad as that is, because that is like the hardest area for most of us that are in our fitness journey, and definitely for me. I learned that because over the course of last year I had gained 25 pounds. I was not missing my workouts, but my nutrition was just not on par, and I knew it. Like, I wouldn't track, and I feel like being in the depression was a big part of that, and I had a bunch of digestional issues last year, so I'm sure that had a lot to do with it. But in December, I told you I feel like I really came out of that depression. I lost 20 pounds of those 25 pounds that I gained following the program that is on my website, Get Fit with Cass, and tracking my food and upping my cardio, like going into like a fat loss phase. I lost 20 of that 25 pounds in 4 weeks that I followed my program and did those things. So I relearned that in 2022 and it really hit home. So in 2023, nutrition is going to be one of our top priorities when it comes to fitness. Next is that you are always a student. When it comes to your fitness journey and being in anything that's science-based, is like science is ever changing. The things that we believe right now, we might not believe in 2 years because something could prove it wrong. And I think a huge example of this is like people used to love to squeeze their glutes at the top of a squat. That has now been proven like not to be the best way to do a squat, and that you shouldn't go like that. That's not good form. But for so long, we were seeing it all over social media that you squeeze your glutes at the top, you squeeze your glutes. I was guilty of this. But now I know that that's actually not a good way to do the movement. There's always going to be things changing when it comes to fitness industry. So you have to be open-minded to change like what you believe in, even things that you might consider like core beliefs. And you should be open to continuously learning. So whether that's reading, listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos, keep learning, and that's how you're going to get further along in your fitness journey. Something else that I learned over the last year is like I had specific movement goals. Like I had a goal for hip thrusts. I halfway through the year decided I really wanted to be able to do pull-ups because I think it's badass when a girl can do pull-ups. Like I love it. I realized hitting those things once a week I wasn't seeing the progress. So when I upped to doing pull-ups 3 times a week and then doing hip thrusts both of my lower body days, I was seeing progress in those movements so much quicker. So if there's like a certain movement that you want to work on, hit that movement more than once a week. That this could just be a personal belief or personal opinion of mine, but I think that if you are trying to improve a movement, I learned in 2022, you gotta do it more than once a week. Once a week is not sufficient. So those were my 3 things for fitness. So we're moving on to parenting. And I feel like if you are a parent and you haven't learned something throughout the year, then you're probably doing something wrong. Because as a parent, you should be continuously growing. You're a young parent like me, like you're growing up. So like the way you handle situations should change. My first thing that I learned is to really take the time to like talk to my kids and stop like assuming I know how they feel or like why they're saying what they're saying. And this really goes for like my 6-year-old more than my 2-year-old, but I would definitely like project onto him like why he might be doing something or why he might be feeling this way. And I wouldn't even let him explain himself in the past. And this year I started really being like, hold up, Cassie, how are you telling this man how he's feeling and why he's feeling this way? Like he's a little human. He has all the feelings, all the emotions that we adults do. So instead I'd get on his level and I'd be like, look, I see that you're upset. Can you like explain to mommy what is actually upsetting you? And a lot of times it would be completely different than what I actually thought was what was upsetting him. After we'd have that conversation, I'd be thinking to myself like, girl, if I would have just like jumped on him or like with what I thought he was meaning or what I thought he was feeling or thinking, it wouldn't have done him any justice because I was totally off base. So I think it's so important, no matter how old your kids are, obviously, as long as they can communicate with you, but like that you get on their level and you talk to them. Something else that I learned, it's something I am definitely struggling to try to fix, but is to let them figure things out for themselves. Some may say I'm like a helicopter mom. I tend to do a lot for my kids and be right there to handle anything for them. If something's not working, like I fix it, and I just don't even take the time to like show them what I'm doing or explain to them why I'm doing what I'm doing. Towards the end of the year, I was like, hold up. My 6-year-old wants me to literally do everything for him because I never let him be independent. So now instead, if there's something like missing and he's like, Mom, I can't find this. Can you find this for me? I'm like, hold up. Where did you look? And he's like, I don't know. I'm like, okay, well, here, I'll give you some examples of where you could look. Or I'll say, where do you think you should look? I'm not just jumping in and going hands-on. I'm really trying to work on him building independence because I definitely screwed myself in the pooch because he relies on me now for so much. He is 1,000% improved since I took a step back and realized and checked myself. But moral of the story, help your kids figure things out for themselves, but like allow them to figure it out. Little Isaac is constantly teaching me things about myself and just about life, and I think that this was something that he definitely slammed me in the face with. And the last thing that I want to share with you guys is on the really hard days when it comes to parenting, I know this is going to sound crazy, but try to remember the days will not always be this hard. Jonah, You know, potty training is really hard with him. He is so stubborn. There will be a day that he doesn't need me to go potty anymore. There will be a day that Isaac is getting all of his snacks and his lunch. Like, he's going to be doing it on his own. There's going to be a day that they don't need you as much as they need you right now. So on those really hard days that you feel like you're just wearing so thin, just remember, it will pass. There will be a time. It will get easier. You are helping little humans become big humans. Along that journey for them, they're going to get more independent. They are not going to need you as much, or they'll need you in different ways that won't be so taxing on you every day, especially if you're a stay-at-home mom. Breathe through and know that it will pass on those hard days, and just try to remind yourself that if it's something you need to jot down or you need to have it on your back of your phone because it's just being really hard, like, I just really encourage you to remember these hard days won't be hard forever. If you hung out with me for this whole video, I just want to say thank you so much. I appreciate it. I hope that you can take something from this and apply it to your 2023. If there's something that you learned in 2022, I would love to know. Let me know in the comments below. I look forward to seeing you next time.